what you see.
I think it's entirely human to be a little skeptical and a little hesitant. After all, this is a new virus in the human population. This vaccine uses new technology. It's been developed very rapidly, and that makes people cautious.
Based on our interviews
I fucking can't stand people like that.
and recent polling,
Like, you're a fucking doctor, bitch. Don't do that. Don't fucking do that.
Pastor Locke represents an outspoken minority. Surveys by the Pew Research Center found that Republicans are less likely than Democrats to see COVID as a major threat to public health, but also that
He's right. Casting any sort of fucking doubt on the vaccination process or the vaccination research process at this stage is not a smart thing to do, especially when considering the reality that so many people are not going to want to do it. You literally have to fucking look at the data available, the research available. If you are to speak about like 16-year-olds, for example, they have not been tested yet. If you are to look at people who are immunocompromised, who have not been tested, that's one thing. But to talk about it in this way on people that have already been tested, if you're under 16 years old, if you're under 12 years old, if you're immunocompromised, if you have allergies, these are the types of people. If you're pregnant, these are the type of people that have not been tested on the vaccination so far. But it's not the same for the public that is outside of those boundaries. I find it frustrating when doctors say that sort of thing.
there's a growing acceptance of the vaccine nationwide, including among Republicans. 60% of Americans say they'd take it, and nearly half of those who are reluctant say it's possible they'd get it after others do so.
Yeah, even if he didn't mean it that way, they fucking edited it in a way that it makes it seem like he's casting doubt on the process itself.
Dr. William Schaffner, who's been working on infectious disease at Vanderbilt University since the 60s, says that in order to overcome vaccine hesitancy, public health officials have to build trust.
You have to respect people. You have to respect where they're coming from, hear what they say, and then try to respond to their concerns.
You know, we give shots to cows all the time, and you do get reactions to shots. So, you know, we have give a shot to an animal, and it...
Yeah, when you take the vaccine and your body fucking produces a reaction to it, that means the vaccine is working. Your body is supposed to produce a fucking reaction to it. You getting like fever-like symptoms and shit like that means that your body is developing antibodies. This is what happens when you're sick. So it's not a bad thing. Also, anyway, he's not wrong. Like he means he's right. And I don't think he's also casting doubt on it either.
They're 20 feet out of the chute and drop dead. Everybody's going to respond differently.
After the first responders take it, when it's your turn, will you take the vaccine?
I probably will go on to take the vaccine.
How do you feel about the vaccine?
Anything new that has not been proven, I'm not sure I want to be the guinea pig, you know? And I really wish there was time for more testing, but there's not. And we're losing too many people too fast, so we have got to do what we can. I know it's become a political issue at times, but it shouldn't be. This is a health issue.
The approach to COVID has had...
Your body isn't supposed to respond to this particular vaccine other than site bruising. It's an mRNA vaccine. That's not true. Your body has plenty of people that have taken the vaccine have had responses to it in a similar, like a hangover, especially in the second, for the Pfizer one, for the second vaccination. So, like people have reported that it's similar to a hangover, or people have reported that it's you sometimes can develop fever-like symptoms. And again, it's still it's the what do you call it? Around 2% have severe fevers. No, I'm not even talking about severe fevers, but it's just your immune system reacting to it. The response isn't dangerous because it's just mRNA. Dude, I'm excited as fuck. if I have the opportunity to get the vaccine, that'd be fucking epic. I would take it. I would take the fuck out of it. I'm just letting you know. If you have an opportunity to get this vaccine, take it. 100%. I would rather get the vaccine than get COVID and give it to my family. And another problem is, I didn't realize you had a medical degree. Wait, what? I don't have a medical degree. What the fuck are you talking about? Would you stream getting the vaccine? Sure.
Dr. Arjan? Pogo.
What about the microchip in the vaccine? Dude, I want it, dude. The government already, I mean, I'm live 10 hours a day. Everybody knows what the fuck I'm doing at any given moment throughout the day. So, hey, I welcome it, my friend. I welcome it. Okay, I welcome microchipping. You know what else I welcome, though? Top of the hour, every hour, where we do a 60-second ad break, a contractual obligation. I'm going to run a 1-minute ad. If you want to have an ad-free broadcast experience, all you need to do is subscribe. You can do it for $5 or for free. You can do it for free $99 by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account. Do you have to quarantine after you take the vaccine? Yes. You have to quarantine. Yes. From what I understand, we still don't have enough information on, for example, we don't have enough information on whether or not you can still be a carrier, even if you get like a lighter form of the, if you get we don't know if you can still carry COVID in your body and like transmit it to other people, even if you are vaccinated, even if it doesn't impact you in the same way. Even if you don't like literally get fucking COVID, there's still speculation on whether or not you could still be a carrier despite the fact that you don't have symptoms, and then you can give it to other people. So that's why they still say you should be careful and that this is not going to fully fix the problem. Of course, if there are enough people that have the COVID vaccine, then it doesn't matter if there are carriers or not, asymptomatic carriers or not. That's how you would reach herd immunity through vaccination. Of course, that's going to be an issue because plenty of people are not going to want to take it because they think it's... Plenty of people are not going to want to take it because they think
there's a lot of excitement right now.
Oh, fucking ASAP science. Here, we'll watch it. Let's finish this and then we'll...
Substantial political overtones. People have attitudes about this, and it will not be easy to change those attitudes.
Are you going to tell the members of your congregation not to get the vaccine?
Members of my congregation can do what they want to, but they'll watch my videos and know that I'm not getting it.
So you expect them to model your behavior?
I expect them to use their Bible and use their brain.
Ellie Reeve, CNN, Wilson County, Tennessee.
YouTube,
What?
as we know it, is now completely dead.
What the fuck? Oh, Boo Boo Ben is saying goodbye to YouTube. All right, we'll watch that in a little bit. What
Around
is
the
this?
record speed vaccines for COVID-19, some of which are already starting distribution in parts of the world. But given that these are mRNA vaccines, a relatively new technology that has not been widely used before, we wanted to explain how they work and what happens to your body.
Bro, what is that? What is this hat, bro? You can't do that. What is this? What is this? What is this? Tim Pool tweeted out 120 wishes per hour times 74 million Trump voters times roughly 10 hours of night, excluding dusk and dawn. 88 equals 88.8 billion wishes that Trump somehow wins on Monday. Consider looking up. The Geminid meteor shower peaks this weekend on Sunday night. Oh, God. Oh, that's so sad, dude. Why is that? Oh, God. It's like a child. Brother, look at how you're dressed. The fuck do you mean, how am I dressed? How are you going to shit on the way I dress when I'm just wearing a fucking turtleneck, dude? You can't win with this audience sometimes, okay?
I have an unhealthy
body from the moment that...
Oh, I can't wait for fucking Jill Biden losing.
These vaccines...
I can't wait for Ben Shabibo losing his mind over Jill Biden being called a doctor, which I've also, like... joked about as well.
Will be injected into the upper muscle of your arm. But unlike typical vaccines, which introduce inactive or weakened forms of a virus, these will release genetic material called messenger RNA. So what exactly does this mRNA do? Well, in a regular cell of your body, you have DNA inside of the nucleus. And this DNA stores all the information and instructions important to the functioning of your cells, your body, and ultimately makes you, you. Inside your cell is machinery that reads through your DNA and transcribes it into mRNA, which then leaves the nucleus and goes into your cytoplasm. And it's here that the ribosomes in your cells read the RNA, and depending on the specific code, build a series of amino acids, which...
Okay, dude, I don't understand it. Oh god, science is so fucking hard. Okay. Yeah, we're moving on from that one. I'm not watching that. Okay, we're just not. It's hurting my brain, dude. You guys can watch it on your own, okay? Just get smart. No, it's too hard. It's too hard. It's just 5 minutes? Okay, sure.
Fold in on themselves to make proteins, which keep you alive and functioning. This process is known as translation. In fact, it's this process that viruses take advantage of in the first place. They insert their own genetic information into you, and then your cell machinery unwittingly starts taking that information and building proteins to help create more viruses. So back to the needle. The mRNA that is being injected into you from the vaccine also carries genetic instructions, but in this case, it's only coding for one small part of the virus, instead of the whole thing. You've probably seen SARS-CoV-2 represented like this, with the spikes on it, and it's this spike protein, which on its own is harmless, that the vaccine's mRNA codes for. The mRNA makes its way into the cytoplasm of your cells, where the ribosomes read the information and start to create the spike proteins. Once the protein is made, it goes to the cell membrane, and then your cell breaks down and destroys the injected mRNA instructions. So what good does having a tiny fragment of viral spike in your body do? Well, it gives your body, and more importantly your immune system, a preview of what the virus looks like without causing disease. Suddenly, your antibodies will notice it and go, well, this doesn't belong here, which triggers an immune response to recognize and prepare your body for the real thing without ever having to come in contact with the actual virus itself. Your immune system essentially gets a head start by creating powerful antibodies that can neutralize and kill the real virus. And this antibody memory is stored in your B cells, so that if you are ever infected in the future with the SARS-CoV-2 virus, your body now has the upper hand. This is known as an adaptive immune response. Your body has already seen these spike proteins before, and therefore it already knows what to do. Essentially, these mRNA vaccines allow your body to protect itself from a future infection without ever having to risk the consequences of getting the disease COVID-19. So why haven't mRNA vaccines been used before?
Chat's making fun of me and saying I'm not listening, but I do understand this process, and I've described it before, and the science nerds in the chat can actually confirm that I have successfully described this exact same process of how the COVID vaccine works in the past.
While they are relatively new, researchers have actually been experimenting with them for decades, but in the past, they've been very unstable. Enzymes in your body would break down the mRNA quickly, so they needed to be packaged well. The ones being released now have the mRNA encased in lipid nanoparticles, which essentially protect the mRNA from being degraded. Since they're more unstable than other types of vaccines, they have to be kept cold. For example, the Pfizer vaccine has to be stored at minus 70 degrees Celsius, and at normal refrigerated temperatures can only last 5 days. Of course, a global pandemic has certainly increased the funding and resources going towards these types of vaccines, which has helped to accelerate their development. What makes these vaccines so appealing is that unlike other vaccines, they can be made in a lab with readily available materials and actually made much quicker than other types of vaccines. Instead of fully developing non-infectious viruses and then injecting them, these mRNA vaccines can sort of pass many hurdles by using your own body in an ingenious way. It's also far more cost-effective to create mRNA molecules rather than the proteins themselves, and also a lot more scalable, which is helpful when we are in a global pandemic waiting for a vaccine. So, is it safe? And given that it's a relatively new technology, should you be concerned at all? Well, that's what these initial trial stages have been for, not only to test whether or not they work and cause immunity, but to make sure they have minimal side effects. As of now, around 70,000 people have been given these vaccines with no serious concerns, a caveat being that the full—
It's not safe, brother. I took the virus. I took the vaccine. The virus is fake. I took the vaccine, and before you knew it, I was finding myself at truck stops looking for glory holes, trolling for that cock. Fucking bullshit, dude. I never wanted to do that beforehand. Now I want it.
Full research hasn't been published yet as of recording this video. But it's important to remember that just because it's safe doesn't mean there won't be any soreness or pain. Some recipients did.
My mic is not fucked up. It's because I have this that I'm using on my back, which makes me sound robotic when it's it makes me sound robotic when I have it near my vocal cords. Hello and welcome to the broadcast.
Did report aches and pains, and as of now, you'll need to receive 2 shots to ensure efficacy. I saw a really great analogy by the Professor Shane Crotty, who works in vaccine research, and he said, "It's not unlike going to the gym and getting exercise and really sore muscles. A bit of pain can be a positive sign that good things are happening. Sometimes you have to earn your immunity, just like you have to earn those biceps you wanted so bad."
We know you've been asking about these vaccines a lot. We've also had our questions, so we hope that all this information was useful and concise and educational for you, because it does sort of help make things seem less unknown and scary.
Radical liberal Raphael Warnock. Radical liberal Raphael Warnock. Radical liberal Raphael Warnock. Radlib Raphael Warnock. Radlib Raphael Warnock. Beep, beep, beep.
In a very strange time.
Thank you all so much for watching. If you want to hear more about vaccines, our podcast is on YouTube. You can check that out. We have a few episodes on vaccines.
Gossip about vaccines, to be honest.
Okay, I don't want to watch this whole ass thing. This sucks. I want to watch the... No, Jill Biden isn't a real doctor. I don't want to watch this fucking nerd's entire show. I just want to watch that one clip. One of the Media Matters people probably clipped it. I know that they clipped it. You sounded like you had a cold in one of your YouTube videos. It was the one after you finished playing Cyberpunk. It was because I had just woken up. I slept in. I know that Bill Barr resigned, by the way. It's funny how his DNA has the same actual policy idea for protein building, while RNA is just reactionary to what the DNA says. What an allegory.
3 months, Pogo.
Oh, here it is. Okay, thank you.
Because he's sneering at Joe Biden. If she insists on being called Dr.
Okay, so one thing I will say is, like Jill Biden calling herself a doctor, I think is a little confusing because most people just assume that it's a medical doctor. I think Ben Shabibo, my wife is a doctor, by the way, getting upset about this or getting worked up on this is additionally funny because, you know, he loves talking about how his wife is a doctor and flexes on that point routinely. But yeah, I mean, my father's a doctor as well, technically. He's a doctorate in economics. That doesn't make him a fucking doctor, and I would clown him all the time if he literally ran around saying, like, I'm a doctor, by the way. Consider me a doctor, by the way. So I'm going to be a centrist on this. Hold on. I got to go pee, though, while this plays. Fuck, I'm peeing a lot today.
Dr. Joe Biden, I join in the sneering. If you insist on being called doctor because you got a doctorate in divinity, I'm with them. Okay, and I get, you know, he says kiddo. Wow, he said kiddo. Well, yes, I'm sure he would say that to a dude as well. Okay, this is not about sex. It's not about misogyny. I understand that everything on the left has to be massaged into some sort of charge of sexism, racism, bigotry, or homophobia. But I'm sorry, telling a white lady in her late 60s that she should stop calling herself doctor because she is not an actual medical doctor, that is not sexist. It's not. Just because she happens to, first of all, I don't even know that the charge sexism makes sense anymore from the left, considering that they believe a man can be a woman or a woman can be a man. But even if you were to assume that it makes sense now, I'm just wondering exactly why it would be sexist to say that anybody at all should not be called a doctor unless they are an actual medical doctor. By the way, this came up when I was at Harvard Law. There was a and I'll keep dropping that reference because if you're not impressed by Harvard Law, then you certainly should not be impressed by a degree from University of Delaware in education. In any case, I remember when I was at Harvard Law, an actual prestigious law school, okay? And I'm not impressed by it. You shouldn't be impressed by it either. A professor one day was in the class, and a student he was a woman, she raised her hand, and she was called upon,
Please keep
and
it coming.
the professor did not mention her honorific. Okay, it turned out that she had a doctorate in some classics field or something. And one of the other students said, you should call her doctor. And the professor immediately responded, if I have a heart attack, can she help? And she said no. he said, then I'm not calling her doctor. Agree. I don't even know.
Okay, I gotta run that again. Okay, so it pains me to say that I might actually agree with Ben Shabibo on this one. Okay, because I think that it's insufferable when people who aren't like medical doctors say like, oh, a doctor, actually, I have a doctorate. Oh, I'm sorry. I know that you technically are a doctor. I get it. But you don't have an MD. So I find it to be insufferable when people do that. I do. And I have many PhDs in my family. Not many, but I have a decent amount of PhDs in my family. And I think that it plays on what people's opinions are. Like it fools people on purpose. I think that you do it on purpose when you get upset that someone isn't. Wait, hold on one second. Let me fix this shit. When you get upset that someone isn't calling you a doctor, by the way. Yeah, I am a doctor. Hello.
This month has
hello. I'm a doctor, by the way.
Love you and everyone else.
Anyway, you are. But who cares?
Charge sexism makes sense anymore from the left, considering that they believe a man can be a woman or a woman can be a man. But even if you were to assume that it makes sense now, I'm just wondering.
Wait. How did he find a way to like take this back to transphobia? I'm so confused. Is there ever a point where Ben Shapiro can't find a way to like somehow turn this around on trans people? Like how the fuck? What a fucking freak, dude. What a fucking obsessive little freak.
Exactly why it would be sexist to say that anybody at all should not be called a doctor unless they are an actual medical doctor. By the way, this came up when I was at Harvard Law. There was a and I'll keep dropping that reference because if you're not impressed by Harvard Law, then you certainly should not be impressed by a degree from University of Delaware in education.
Oh God. Oh, he went from like making a somewhat reasonable take on like how insufferable people are to literally God, he is. Oh, God. Put Ben Shapiro in jail right now. Cringe jail. I got a degree from Harvard Law, by the way, which is a great institute. You're like, shut the fuck up, you little fucking bitch, dude. Oh, my God. Oh, yikes. I was upset because of how pretentious it is when people are like, I'm a doctor, by the way. But nothing is as pretentious as being like, I went to Harvard Law. Yeah, notice me. Oh, horrendous.
I remember when I was at Harvard Law, an actual prestigious law school, okay? And I'm not impressed by it. You shouldn't be impressed by it either. A professor one day was in the class, and a student he was a woman, she raised her hand, and she was called upon, and the professor did not mention her honorific. Okay, it turned out that she had a doctorate in some classics field or something. And one of the other students said, you should call her doctor. And the professor immediately responded, if I have a heart attack, can she help? And she said no. And he said, then I'm not calling her doctor. Agree.
Yeah, no, this is terrible. God, people that brag about being PhDs are annoying. Anyways, did I mention that Harvard... Did I mention I went to Harvard Law School? Did I mention that my wife is a doctor, by the way? I'm surprised that he didn't mention that his wife is a doctor, by the way. Like, I agree with you on most things, but if it takes a PhD that takes 6-7 years to get a doctorate degree, why does a physician get to take over the term? Just because doctor is colloquialized term for medical physician when the term originated from the word teacher/academic. Anyone who goes out to get a doctorate degree should be called a doctor. Only physicians should be physicians. I don't know. I just find it to be pretentious. And I'm saying this as like someone who is related to, I guess, doctors in that way, but not medical doctors. It is pretentious to be like doctor, by the way, but it's also fucking pretentious to be like, you're not a real doctor, by the way. Why? You're not a medical doctor. Most people, when you say doctor, assume that you're an MD. I went to Harvard, by the way, but don't be impressed I went to Harvard. doctors are crazy hard to get. Anyone with that amount of patience deserves to be called the doctor, regardless of what. Deserves to be called doctor, regardless of what in. I mean, look, dude. There's a reason why fucking like Dr. Jill Biden runs around and calls herself Dr. Jill Biden. Now, that is confusing for people. People don't understand it. They literally fucking thought, and I have a lot of PhDs and shit in my audience, so I understand why this is a sore spot for a lot of you. Okay? I get it. And no disrespect. I think your research is important.
This is a
I think what you do is important. I don't think that it's like bullshit. I think that you should get paid more for that research. All of that is real. But when Dr. Jill Biden runs around and is like, I'm a doctor, by the way, Dr. Biden, you have people like fucking Whoopi Goldberg thinking that she's like a literal medical doctor, and they talk about how she should be the Surgeon General. Like, and it's deliberate, I think. So when are we getting mad at Dr. Dre? Okay, but no one thinks Dr. Dre is actually a doctor. It's like saying doctor disrespect. In my college, every woman professor usually mandates that they are referred to by doctor or professor. When asked, they always say that typically their degree is considered worthless compared to the same doctorate if owned by a man. When male professors do this, no one cares typically. However, it becomes an issue when women doctorates ask for it. No, my father is a male doctorate. He has a doctorate. I think that's fucking lame if you ever were to do that.
Big bad take.
I think it's deliberate. It's like you're doing that on purpose. Why should we cater to stupid people? They're doctors. It's just a fact. You cater to stupid people all the time. Language is contextual, and it grows, it changes.
Be called doctor. Literally, PhD means Doctor of Philosophy at Hasanabi.
No, I know the original title for doctor is for PhDs. The term Latin for doctere means teach. The title is originally for PhDs who achieve expertise in their study. Yeah, I get it. I understand. Hey, man, you work for years and years for a title to prove your worth? Yeah, I, a Twitch streamer, say no. Damn, dude, PhDs get so fucking butthurt. Holy shit. All right, brother. God damn, dude. Yo, no one gets more. Okay, listen, I think you're valid, okay? I think you're worth it. You're valid. I'm not going to shit on you, okay? Getting called a doctor or not getting called a doctor is not going to change that reality, all right? Jesus Christ. Jesus fucking Christ. Some of you literally became PhDs just so you could fucking be called doctor, and you're just mad that people don't want to do it and laugh at it. You go through the research and time when come back. Look, man, my mom is going through the process right now, okay? I know what it's like. I'm not going to do it, okay? Just accept you have a bad take, Jesus. I can't have a surprise people are mad at your shit take. No, I don't really care. I think if they keep doing it, I'm just going to keep triggering them by being like, you're a fake doctor. I'm sorry. And it's going to cause the PhDs to be even more fragile, understandable, especially considering the fact that most people have the stupid take that I have, but it doesn't matter because colloquially, people assume that doctor means medical doctor. And people who correct others and be like, I'm a doctor, by the way, when they have a PhD, for example, are looking like douchebags. Sorry. You just love to make chat maul with these takes like these as well as Gatorade and Nintendo? That's the hill. Come on, dude. Nope. I will die on this hill.
Hello, Ajan and chat.
My sister has a PhD and literally no one is calling her doctor. I'm pretty sure she doesn't care. I'm surprised it's such a debate. I think that the reason why it's a big debate here is because some people are currently on their way to getting a PhD in my chat, and they're very upset, and they think that it undermines their efforts. And it's understandable. I think they would give less of a fuck if they were, getting paid $200,000 plus a year for doing the research instead of fucking $3 a day. Okay, and like basically working for scraps as the rest of the fucking world, people that are not as intelligent or as thoughtful as they are, keep saying that like you're doing a fake bullshit job. You should not exist. Your job should not exist. All we need to do is create more STEM majors and engineers, that sort of thing. They would probably be less upset at this take. But this is the one fucking symbolic crumb that they get after putting so much time and effort into it. So they're mad at me, which is fine. Still think you're a douchebag if you correct me on it though. Like if you're like I'm a doctor, by the way, for the record, let me just expand on it a little bit more. If I was like, yo, this is Henry, okay, this is my fan, Henry Williams, okay,
behind many of your takes,
and he was like Dr. Henry Williams, I'd be like, and even if he was a medical doctor, I'd be like, shut the fuck up,
I fucking hate school,
bitch.
Respect people title Sarjan.
Just for the record, I think it's lame as fuck. Even if you are a medical doctor, okay? Dr. Henry Williams. Okay, go save some lives, motherfucker. What are you doing? This is the petty shit that you're gonna fucking have a problem with? Yeah, shut the fuck up, you scrub bitch. Go fucking, go clean out someone's asshole, all right? Like, you're a dick. You're a dickhead. A doctor, by the way. It's like, no, you're not doing this because you want people to respect you. You're doing this because you want to save lives, okay? So you admit that if a medical doctor says it, it's pretentious too, then why aren't they arguing that doctrines aren't real? Wait, no, I think it's a... Doctors. I think that it's pretentious when medical doctors do it too. I do. Why are medical doctors only real doctors? What about PhDs that use the title but aren't dicks? In academic context, this is a gender issue. In the general public context, this is a pretentious issue. Look, I don't fucking know. Don't see why you care so much to actually agree with others and just say, yeah, whatever, man. Fuck your years. Like, I get what you're saying, but move the fuck on, bro. This is like making fun of people who play esports, people to call them pro gamers. Like, who cares? Leave them alone. Let them live life, Twitch streamer. Damn. I'm losing my radical simps like Ultra PG on this one. When you lose Ultra PG, it's over. It means you've hit the radical PhDs where it hurts in your own audience. The radical graduate students. That's my number one simp right there, dude. Even he's mad at me. Academic work saves more lives in total than MDs, so do shit take, but sorry it is. Oh, you're not a real doctor, by the way, is the same as saying, oh, you got a worthless degree because you got a gender studies degree or something. No, fuck that. That's not what I'm saying at all. In grad school, we had a lot of professors from England where they traditionally hang out with their students. They didn't like being called doctor, professor, etc. People being insufferable about having a doctorate doesn't mean that they're not a doctor. You're doing conservatism, dude. Extrapolating an interpersonal grievance to a systemic problem and arriving at a bad take. What is... No, I'm not. I like having differences like this. I like having marginal differences like this in a completely insignificant issue because it exposes how serious the left takes itself on every matter that they speak of. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, oh, well, you're actually technically undermining the graduate students and all the efforts that they put in for 7 years as they were exploited endlessly. It's like, dude, no, I think it's fucking pretentious to be like, I'm a doctor, by the way. That's it. That's my only argument. It is technically a conservative adjacent argument because it's a silly one. It's a dumb one. Who cares? I'm going to keep having this argument. I'm going to keep establishing this position.
No politics, but low-key you look like 90s rock picture today.
Like, if we were doing a fucking fan meetup and you were like, and I asked you, like, what's your name? And you were like, Doctor something. I'd be like, okay. No, don't backtrack. You were saying PhDs aren't doctors? No, PhDs aren't medical doctors. They're not. And the word doctor is utilized for MDs, colloquially. That's it. It doesn't mean that, like, What do you mean? It doesn't mean that like your PhD is not important. I've advocated for grad students before and still continue to do so. But if you are to be like, I'm a doctor, by the way, over and over again, you are trying to, in my opinion, confuse people into thinking that you are a medical doctor. Bad take generator on full blast today. Wow. No, it's because half of you guys have PhDs and you get mad. That's it. That's the only reason why I think this is a bad take.
It's just conservative adjacent. Okay, Destiny.
Hey, PhDs in the chat, look at this emote. White people happy. They can't. They're frustrated.
Backpedal Barry out here, Pepela.
Yeah, it's belittling for the amount of stress we go through, dude. Like, come on. You can say backpedaling all you want. But in Biden's case, she's using it in a professional manner. I'm sure she doesn't do what you're saying. Yeah, okay. They're not radical STEM Lord grad students. I remember why people get so fucking get so much entertainment out of like stun locking me, because when I get to do it to 28,000 people, it's fucking awesome. I think you're maliciously belittling people with doctorates by not calling someone doctor. Then yeah, you suck. You also suck if you're a doctor and get pissy at someone who accidentally said mister. Only PhDs that matter are STEM, the rest are fake. Yeah, shut the fuck up. Like, you're an idiot. You're literally agreeing with Ben Shabibo, you dunce. Yeah, I guess I am. I guess I am Mr. PhDs. Mr. and Mrs. PhDs in the chat. Oh, this is great.
Does being called a doctor make your PhDs feel better? Children.
3 days of gaming and now you're a white supremacist. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, my God.
The embarrassing thing here is you are literally being the anti-intellectual Ben Shapiro take you were going to make fun of, but you think it's awesome because triggered lol, basically a right-winger at this point. Ban me now.
Yes, I am. My entire worldview has changed. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I think that climate change is a hoax now. I think the reaction from the PhDs is precisely why people have this take as well. Like, I'm just saying, like, this is probably part of the reason why people get like a little apprehensive with the. You're literally gloating at having owned the libs now. 100% conservative logic. This whole take. Thanks for proving me right.
Why do you care about respecting pronouns when gender is a constructivist identity concept the same as a doctoral title? Why not just respect their preference to be called doctor?
This is a Papega take. Just because you live with other himbos and bimbos in LA who don't take education and doctors seriously, aside from plastic surgeons, doesn't mean the rest of the country can share your disdain for higher education. Oh, God damn, dude. Fuck me. Oh, Jesus, dude. This is, wow. This is an issue that really, first of all, I'm beginning to recognize that a lot of like long-term supporters in my community are, a lot of long-term supporters in my community at least have a graduate degree. Like, at least or higher, or and that's great. That's great that you guys are you're working towards making the world a better place.
My profession takes 10 years for accreditation, and all I get is a suffix kek. Imagine I ask you all to call me PA.
Okay, that's great. I'm glad that you guys are doing that. I happen to believe that you're doing it to make the world a better place and not to get the recognition. But who knows? Maybe some of you are doing it just to get that recognition of being called a doctor. Why did he call them plastic surgeons and not doctors? I don't know. I don't know why. I just want to let all the doctors in the chat know they're valid despite Hassan's PhD phobia. So you wouldn't call your professor doctor if they had a doctor? I don't know why you're getting triggered for it, just the title.
Don't have a doctor.
I mean, I'm not getting triggered for it.
Etc. Now what?
It is pretentious in the context you're giving, like saying happy holidays to someone as an umbrella term to avoid assuming their religion holiday, and they get offended that you didn't instead say Merry Christmas. PhD said the title of doctor before medical doctors started using the title lol. Well, that sucks, doesn't it? That sucks, doesn't it? Doesn't that suck that they just like took over and stole it? Misdegreeing people is a huge issue that I personally take offense to.
Wait, Biden is a communist? When did that happen?
Listen, your take is insane, but I'm willing to keep you in the community as a pet. Oh, yeah? Okay, dude. Damn, y'all are fucking big nerds, huh? Poll the chat on their education. We have done it before.
To know where'd you get the turtleneck, my guy?
Maybe because a woman in STEM. Okay, I missed it, but like, what is it? What's the take? Is it that like women that have PhDs are like undermined unless you like call them doctors or something? What like how? Yeah, humanities don't deserve to have their masters acknowledged, let alone PhD. Literally journalism. Yeah, no, that's fucking bullshit. Like, no, that's silly as fuck. And you are a literal caveman. If you have literal caveman takes like this, which ironically, those PhDs in the humanities or people that have a PhD in
it's not about prestige. They're all prestige.
In anthropology, should literally study your fucking caveman like lifestyle. If that's your take, that's ridiculous. Like. People with PhDs are covering incredibly important things, and they're making the world a better place with their research. That's silly as fuck. I don't agree with that. I do think it's funny how mad they get when you don't call them doctors, apparently, though. Oh, Jesus Christ, dude.
Trans people. Before you slander me, I don't actually believe that's okay.
Nobody ever calls me associates, Andy. All degrees matter.
Yo.
I told girls I'm a doctor with my history PhD, so they think I make money. Badge. Men refer to women with PhDs by their title 30% less than other men. Women do it equitably. Everyone on your Twitch is a doctor, is 6'5", benches 200 plus, served with the Zapatistas and has trans black friends. What? Maybe. First you make fun of my city, Tucson, and now you're shitting on me being a PhD student. What the fuck did I do to you?
Pogu.
Educate yourself and then come back, you damn himbo, or you look like Ben Shabibo. What about pharmacists? Are we considered real doctors? I don't really make people call me doctor because it's weird and I don't care much about people get really upset about not referring to them as doctor. I think it's silly. I think it's silly if you're an MD and you get mad. I think it's silly if you're fucking... if you have a JD and it's fucking silly. It's just silly every time. PhD, it's still silly.
Booga booga, I hate doctors.
Silly across the board. When people colloquially reference doctors, they are referencing medical doctors for the most part. They're not thinking about PhDs. So the correction, the people engaging in that like corrective attitude are probably further confusing people. Sorry, not all of us have PhDs. We're too dumb to recognize that it's still a doctorate. You have to live in this world with stupid people, and you have to accommodate to them. You should be smart enough to recognize it. Calling out your bad takes doesn't mean someone is mad. No, no. Many of the PhDs in here definitely seem not mad at all. If anything, they seem happy. All right, we're moving on.
Bye-bye, Bennett.
I just lost the radical PhDs, dude. Doctor, the profession, and doctor, the title are different, though. We do have to learn to live with brainlets like you, but it's okay. I forgive you. Oh, thanks. Thanks for doing that. That's nice. Oh, damn. This fucking feels good. 2 months of wasted money.
Vilifies socialism in America.
You're just mad Murad is your mom's favorite, so you shit on STEM PhD. Well, first of all, I'm the only person in my family that does not have a graduate's degree. In my immediate family. So yeah.
2 months
So
of wasted money.
maybe that factors into it. Maybe that'll make you cope with it.
Mr. Evil.
Dr. Evil. I didn't spend 6 years in evil medical
It's
school
fun to be
become
on the other
Mr.
side of a
Thank you
stunlock,
very
isn't
much.
it?
True. That's what you do be sounding like. All right, let's watch a real doctor, a doctorate in poo-poo, Boo Boo Bennett. Someone who got a PhD in pooping herself, a doctorate.
2 months
That's what a
of
PhD
redistributing
stands for,
Jeff
by the way.
Bezos' money.
For those of you who didn't know, that's literally what a PhD stands for. So whenever someone says, oh, I have a PhD, they mean like, oh, pooping himself doctorate or pooping herself doctorate. Yeah. So that's what that literally means. If they're an MD, though, that's a medical doctor, which is a very important profession. Dr. Poopy Butt. Okay, let's go.
And if you support Donald Trump, YouTube as we know it is now completely dead. And if you support Donald Trump, your days here are now numbered.
What?
To us here on the right, big tech censorship isn't anything new. For years now, they've been targeting conservatives and making those of us still left on here have to censor ourselves just to maintain a social media presence. They tried to be subtle about it for a while, but once the election came around, they took the mask off
should go on The Bachelor
and
looking
went
like a
full-blown
snap today
communist,
pogo.
hiding dozens of President Trump's tweets, labeling anything as misinformation, and fact-checking anything that challenges mainstream media narratives.
Fact checking. What do you mean? Like,
I earned it. You're damn
what?
right I'm going to stand
Again,
up when the
a
flight
big part of the
attendant asks if
conservative
Teresa Doctor
arguments
on board.
revolve around just saying things that other people are doing, but basically with a tone of voice that means they're making fun of them. Okay? So, fact checking things like factually inaccurate takes by reactionary Republicans that are just lying to people. Ugh. Well, good argument. Nice.
Narratives.
What is this? What article is? Where is this from? Why aren't they showing what fucking outlet wrote this? Lying for Democrats. Candace Owens wins challenge against communist Facebook fact checker PolitiFact over Biden post false rating. Communist Facebook fact checker PolitiFact. Seems like a normal person and not an unhinged psychopath that wrote this, but
But what YouTube just announced is so much worse than any type of censorship we've seen before. They are now going to completely erase any content that challenges or questions the integrity of the 2020 election, and they boast having already banned thousands of accounts. According to YouTube's latest policy update, quote, "Since September, we've terminated over 8,000 channels and thousands of harmful and misleading elections-related videos for violating our existing policies." The policy update continues, "We also work to make sure that the line between what is removed and what is allowed is drawn in the right place. Our policies prohibit misleading viewers about where and how to vote. We also disallow content alleging widespread fraud or errors change the outcome of a historical US presidential election. However, in some cases, that has meant allowing controversial views on the outcome or process of counting votes of a current election as election officials have worked to finalize counts." And here's where things get really spooky. "We will start removing any piece of content uploaded today or anytime after that misleads people by alleging that widespread fraud or errors changed the outcome of the 2020 US presidential election, in line with our..."
Okay, I have to stop here and say something.
Moving on.
Congratulations to Boo Boo Bennett. I did not know she could read. So I just want to give her a round of applause. I did not believe that she could read, but it seems clear to me now that we know that she knows how to read. So she literally has no excuse for all the misinformation that she's spreading. But again, respect. Much respect to Boo Boo Bennett for knowing how to fucking read.
Our approach towards historical US
Gotta
presidential
grab a diet
elections.
soda, hold on.
For example, we will remove videos claiming that a presidential candidate won the election due to widespread software glitches or counting errors. Those are awfully specific, YouTube. Effectively, what they are saying is that if you use YouTube to allege that anyone but Joe Biden won the 2020 election, you will be banned. Even before they announced this policy update, it was already abundantly clear that YouTube was trying to stop the spread of pro-Trump content. In case you haven't noticed, our views on YouTube have recently been a mere fraction of what we were getting just a month ago. Needless to say, it's going to be very difficult for me to keep uploading videos here to YouTube. What am I even allowed to talk about anymore besides the weather? This is why it's more important than ever for you to join us over at libertyhangout.tv.
Oh my God, it's just like her selling her Patreon. I honestly wish you would stop going on these hour-long sideshows where you literally just bully chat for normal stuff like education or where they live, regardless of being alienating. It is just shit content. Thank you for moving on. Do you want me to go back to it when you fucking send a $5 dono like that? Because it seems like you want me to go back to it. Because I had moved on already. But you got to get the final fucking word, don't you?
Where I can actually speak
I'll move
freely
on.
and not have to worry about censorship. We are currently having our biggest sale ever for Christmas, and I highly encourage you guys to sign up for our annual plan.
Oh my God, she's literally sharking like... Oh my God, is this like OnlyFans style content?
Which you can get at a phenomenal rate right now at libertyhangout.tv. I really wish that I could upload every single...
Oh my God, what the fuck? Bro, she's literally... Wait. I was joking when I said like Caitlyn Bennett Uncensored is just like her... Ew, you guys are grooming for Boo Boo Bennett. Ew, 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 ew. How the fuck did this community shit on me for saying Candace Owens is at least like physically somewhat attractive, but her personality makes her awful. Like, awful, and impossible to fucking coom to. But you turn around and you say Boo Boo Bennett is attractive and you're cooming to Boo Boo Bennett. What the fuck? Poops her pants, is not physically attractive, and is horrible on the inside. Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. You guys love scat. That's it. There's no other... Oh, God. Okay, this literally corresponds to my original very good take about PhDs being pooping themselves doctorates. Very clear that you guys love scatology. Is scat shit. You're into scat.
single video I make to YouTube. But with the way things are going, the majority of my content going forward will likely have to be uploaded at libertyhangout.tv. I've also moved over to Parler and Rumble, and I urge you.
Okay, shut the fuck up. Is there anything going on here?
So who exactly do they consider to be an authoritative news source? We have ABC News, USA Today, NBC, Fox News, CBS. Gee, I wonder why they would consider these outlets authoritative. Surely they...
Bro, they even put Fox News in there. What the fuck do you want? Not enough, of course. Fox News is also communist, by the way. Fox News is communist propaganda, brother. Is what I say. It's communism, brother.
Sup, Hassan.
Great.
They would not have an agenda, right? And here's where their policy update gets a little funny. Despite these encouraging results, we recognize that there's always more to do. For example, while problematic misinformation represents a fraction of 1% of what's watched on YouTube in the US, we know we can bring that number down even more. So this misinformation, as they call it, is so dangerous to...
Okay, a fraction of 1% is still billions of fucking views, though. It's like hundreds of millions of people being misinformed. That just means that YouTube is pumping out so much fucking content that it's like a fraction of 1% is even incredibly damaging. And it's not just like problematic, it's psychopaths misinforming delusional weirdos, and then your mom and dad becoming like psychotic conservatives who think that the election was stolen from Donald Trump. Like, they want people to live in this world of misinformation. They want people to be fucking scared and just not know what the truth is. It's so fucked up.
Our democracy that they have to outright ban it, yet it only makes up a fraction of 1%.
Why aren't you speaking against this blatant censorship from YouTube? Aren't you a free speech advocate? First of all, YouTube fucking clapped me too, idiot. Secondly, I think... What is going on? Secondly, I think it's ridiculous. Like, if you are deliberately and purposely fucking misinforming people over and over again and making money off of that, and it leads to people actually harming themselves or harming others, like believing the misinformation spread about COVID, for example, like, then no, that is not a part of free speech. First of all, it's not even a part of free speech anyway. It's a private corporation. They can do whatever the fuck they want. Unfortunately, that's the reality. But even if they weren't a fucking private corporation, even if they were public, even in that circumstance, like, it's still something that you should absolutely add disclaimers on and try to combat, because unfortunately people believe the deliberate misinformation. And lastly, there is no free speech absolutism. Like, it does not even exist in the United States of America. America has some of the most free speech in comparison to the rest of the world. Definitely in the Western world. But that still doesn't change the reality that even here, you don't have complete free speech absolutism. Okay? You just don't. You can't yell fire in a crowded theater. You can't fucking threaten someone with murder, for example. You can't do that. That's still illegal. It's very much illegal to do all these things. So it doesn't matter. What is this? Ratioed? Y'all so ugly, bro. That shit is insane. Yeah, Lore Loomer. Oh my god. Thank you. Thank you, N-word. Do we care for the tag? I love whenever there's like fucking shit that's popping off on the internet. Immediately you can find like multiple people from my audience like tagging me under it. Bro, she does look like that. What the fuck? She looks like a PS4 render of a Cyberpunk NPC. Oh god. Oh, Kelly Loeffler posed with fucking a KKK dude, man. Kelly Loeffler just posed a photo of Chester Doles, a former KKK leader who runs the white supremacist American Patriots USA. In 1993, Doles nearly beat a black man to death. In 2017, he marched in Charlottesville. This is who Kelly Loeffler is proudly appealing to. You know this is on purpose, right? That was the story I wanted to talk about. Anyway, we'll finish this fucking censorship shit, and then we'll get back to that in a little bit.
Watched on YouTube? That's like cutting celery out of your diet because you're getting fat. But you know what's really ironic about all of this? Who were the ones misleading people